Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another exciting League of Legends Coldcast with myself, Mr. Iaqton, and my good buddy from multiplaying.net, Rare. We're fresh out of watching IPL qualifiers today. Big upset for Moscow 5 losing. That was an incredible match to watch. Also, Easy versus V8 was a really good match to watch. So let's get this underway. Rare, how about those players?
All right, man. On the blue team, we have Felgana playing LeBlanc, Walmax, not as good as Walmart, playing Garen, America 2 playing Caitlyn, Valsilla X, that's what I'm going with, playing Fizz, and then Lifetorm, not Lifeform, Lifetorm, some interesting names of the blue team, playing Gangplank. And how about the purple team, Mr. Iaqton?
For that purple team, we have Arthas Loco on Morgana, Ayatsu playing that guy, Alistar, Yatsumi on Master Yi, the Dreamless, playing Warlick, and Efrit on Misfortune.
Yes,
Not
indeed.
quite sure why Morgana is top right now. I have no clue.
I mean, Morgana can certainly be an effective solo top because she can, you know, kill creep fairly easily. I'd imagine from this team we might see Misfortune go mid, perhaps?
Yeah, she wouldn't be a bad choice for mid for the purple team if Morgana is going to stay top. The only other option then would be AP Master Yi at mid. AP Yi is good mid for
versus the LeBlanc though. I don't know. That's pretty
it's going to be a poor choice against LeBlanc pretty much for anybody on that purple team. Morgana would be the only one that I would trust to go toe to toe against her.
Yeah, which is why I think that's a good question of why Morgana would be at mid, because she's a perfect, not counter, but I mean, it's at least you have a shot against LeBlanc and her early game aggression. We should note that the blue team actually is foregoing having a jungler to have two on top with Caitlyn and Garen up in top lane versus Morgana. We will see Misfortune go mid, and then in the bottom lane we will have Fizz and Gangplank versus Alistar and Master Yi.
Yeah, don't really have a support for that team either. We have Alistar supporting for the purple team. Skin power in bot lane though. I like that Fizz skin, as well as Minuteman Gangplank down there.
Yeah, Minuteman Gangplank I'm a huge fan of, and that Fizz skin is actually pretty cool. I've never actually seen it in game before. We do have some pretty good back and forth poking between Misfortune and LeBlanc at the mid lane, which is to be expected. I'm not sure. I think a blue team's overall goal for the early game will try to be to secure as many kills as possible, because it will be foregoing an experience split and probably having to share last hits in the top lane, which is going to hurt Caitlyn in the long run unless they get some good early game kills. What do you think?
Well, I'll say that's half one and six of the other, or half dozen of one and six of the other, because they are zoning Morgana out of that XP. Both blue team in the top lane there already beating Morgana to level 2 by a good chunk of time. Also, they're going to try and burn her creep on her tower there, but it looks like it did backfire. Caitlyn's got to get in there and get those caster minions in the back.
Both players are really low. There goes Morgana, or not, sorry, LeBlanc's clone there.
Not really doing anything with that clone though. Should see that a little bit better managed. But
yeah,
this is just another pickup game, trolling around the custom games. A lot of custom games tonight. Everybody really amped for this game after watching the IPL qualifiers, and certainly cheered on by some of these newer teams, some of these lesser-known teams coming to rise. For
too bad for Easy. They're kind of an up-and-coming team right now. They, no offense to them, but they kind of got stomped by V8.
It wasn't. Well, yeah.
Speaking of stomp, oh my God, that damage on Gangplank with a really nice knock-up and headbutt from Alistar, and they almost secure the first blood.
Yep, first blood going to Master Yi there. He picked up a Doran shield to start with. Interesting choice for him. I'm not going to say not sure I agree with that, because that's still viable, give him some in-lane sustain. They probably will not be forced to leave that lane at all with his regen, as well as Alistar's. Alistar has his roar there.
Yep.
He's got a health pendant, so...
Chose the regrowth pendant. I don't know. I mean, mana potion's certainly not a bad choice, but I probably would have just gone with mana regeneration personally.
Taking way too many tower hits there.
Yeah.
That was a bit of a mistake on his part.
He was able to cleanse that ignite from Fizz, though.
Yeah, I will say that was kind of a bait. He does have his mana potion and is going to be able to roar again to bump some health back up there. Look at how low Fizz got out of that. So I'd still say Alistar got the better end of that deal, 1v2.
Yep, and then they will get some pokes on that bottom turret because Gangplank is still making his way back at this point. Warwick is, I don't know, gotta do something at this point. He just killed off his wraiths. He should either go do his golems or try and set the gank somewhere.
Yeah, it's very tough to decide with how these lanes are shaking out what he needs to do. Morgana is ahead on levels now. She's going to hit level 5. Warwick probably wants to wait till level 6 to gank in that top lane. Let them get comfy pushing out. Let them just get used to being out there and not really opposed by Morgana. She hasn't been throwing her snare a whole lot. She's been opting to use her pool, do some poke, and then let it ride as it will.
And try and farm up as much CS as possible. And that's actually a pretty good point that you make, that they could always just wait for level 6 and go for a later gank with Warwick and Morgana. I like this play right here by Warwick because he knows they don't have a jungler on the blue team and all the players are currently accounted for, so why not steal their blue buff? It's a really good play.
Precisely. Misfortune, if she dings 6 here, could ult that tower and kill, oh, no, looks like she was going to back away there. Would have been able to kill LeBlanc there pretty easily. Like, with that incredible range on her R.
Mm-hmm. And it does look like we will see Mr. Gangplank. Not necessarily full-on jungle, but at least try and be somewhat effective by getting some golems while Fizz gets some solo XP and last hits in the bottom lane.
It's so hard to do damage to Fizz because as soon as he would see Master Yi's Alpha Strike pop up, he'll just flip upside down on that Trident and it won't do anything to him anyway.
Yep.
Alistair can't knock him up if he's upside down. It's just a Zhonya's for a second and it's up all the time. Misfortune ducking around there, maybe killing off a Wraith, not quite sure what she was doing there. Warwick grabs another blue. I'd like to see him come out here and try and kill this LeBlanc with her clone as well as her ult now. That'll be a hard sell.
Against LeBlanc, I could totally understand why he'd want to go for 6 instead to get that stagger.
Yeah, the suppress.
Yeah, thank you, suppress, not stagger. I've been playing too much Nautilus lately. But just because of her mobility, it makes sense.
I mean, let's be honest, who wouldn't want to hug that?
That is a fair point, sir. That is a fair point.
Lots of damage going in there on Fizz. Alistair taking way too many tower hits again. He's got to be really careful with that. That's probably going to turn out poorly for him later on if he continues to make a habit out of headbutting into the tower and then being stuck there with Fizz's poke and all that other stuff. Once he gets his shark, if he's able to knock him up there on that tower for any length of time...
We can easily see a kill there.
Oh, easily.
Yeah, and that is starting to play into effect, choosing that... There we go. Okay, so he is getting a Philo Stone. That's what he needs to do, because he had really poor mana generation there, and he was just taking so many turret hits that he had to constantly heal himself, so he needs to get that mana generation from that Philo Stone.
And it is also Team Dignitas official now that those little blinking things there when new items are bought are cool.
Yes, that is an
thanks
official
to
thing.
Void. So, I don't even think the IGN casters noticed that until Void pointed it out. He's like, oh yeah. So...
When you see the items, they just kind of pop up. It's really cool. And I was like, hey, we did that too.
It was annoying me for the majority of the cast there today how much of a NY Jackie fanboy that hat is. That was just kind of funny. It's like anytime he had an opportunity to stroke NY Jackie's ego, he took it.
Yeah.
Damage going in here on Master Yi and bottom lane. That Alpha Strike is gonna get him a little bit of
flash,
everything. But, and
nice
the
gunshot.
just barely enough there.
That was really close. That was a really nice flash by Master Yi. He noticed. He had to wait until after all that damage went off. Here comes Warwick, though. He's buffless, unfortunately. So I feel like he kind of almost waited too long at this point. He had both red and blue buff, and he was 6, and he didn't really try to make anything happen. At least, like, you know, jump into a lane real quick and try and do some damage.
He also doesn't have hardly any items now. He only has a longsword. I'm not quite sure what he's doing there. I mean, he does have...
He hasn't backed since the very beginning.
Yeah, so we'll see what gold he's sitting on there. Sitting on almost 1,400. Should be able to pick up a Wriggles and probably after these Golem's boots as well. Give him some good gank ability. That ward not quite going to spot Gangplank returning through the Tribush. It looks like Gangplank is going to try and do that hybrid jungle thing as you were suggesting earlier, where he's just going to roam around and kill some jungle mobs to allow Fizz to get some free farm there. Lane like, as well as the XP. I'm not sure where he's going.
Yeah, neither am I. Is he going to blue, maybe?
Maybe he's just going for a stroll, stretching his legs. He doesn't have a peg leg anymore.
And meanwhile, we did finally see that Warwick get a good gank with that blue buff, and he did pop his ult as well to kill Master Yi, so good on him. And yeah, now Gangplank is... see, this is the part that I like the idea of doing
I think he
hybrid.
Was running over there to blue to check.
Yeah, maybe, but from bot lane, that's a really long walk, and then this happens. You're going to lose your bottom tower, or it's going to get really low because you're nowhere near there.
He's going to throw his ult on that. Alistair needs to roar real quick. Ooh, Yi barely escaping that.
There's
Alistair
that
going
roar.
to take it out there, popping his ult.
Yeah, and as a result of Gangplank leaving to go into the jungle, which is perfectly fine, but you don't go all the way up to the northern jungle because then you're going to lose your lane. After
Could we be
Fizz
pulling
died.
a lane swap here? Garen coming down to bottom. Looks like he's not going to be able to do anything too effective. That purple ward is going to spot him. Alistair going to get even more sight on him. Headbutt him back away. Tell him no.
Right as soon as he popped Ghost, too. I'm not sure why he really popped Ghost there. When you're going against an almost full HP Alistair, you're not likely to get a kill anytime soon. I mean, Garen's only got his Doran's Blade. So,
yeah. Well, we'll
sure
see what's going on here. Warwick's sitting on almost 2,000 gold. I'm not sure what he's waiting on to go back.
He's just going for a super, like, I am never going to leave my jungle, and I am only just going to farm. But he should get his claws, like, get a Wriggles going, because that way you can be more effective at jungling.
Rush Rabadons, why not?
Rabadon's Warwick, what could possibly go wrong?
Nothing, that's what. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see what he does here. Miss Fortune, meanwhile, coming back. She, on her last trip back, picked up a Chalice of Harmony, also has Merc Treads. Good make it rain there, that was a lot of damage.
Almost every single creep there. Needs to try and pick up these last hits on this turret, because it is taking a lot of her CS away from her, and she's really not
doing a whole lot about it.
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't very effective, in my opinion. You hit all those creeps, and they're really low. You should try and go for, you know, those additional last hits to give you that gold advantage over LeBlanc, which is going to be crucial in the later game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, her and LeBlanc were pretty close. It's important to note, despite Morgana having that solo lane, Garen and Caitlyn have been keeping up on farm, both of them at about 42, 43 respectively. Seems to be 42, 43 across the board, except for Gangplank. It looks like we almost had a fight develop there at bot. Good warding, though, from the purple team. Probably picked that up before they could do anything about that.
Yep.
Gangplank in the back.
We will see that Warwick finally pick up his Madras Razors and those attack speed boots, so he will be able to jungle significantly faster, and if anything, hopefully gets more ganks. His first gank on Master Yi was good, but only one gank by 12 minutes in. You either need to farm a lot to compensate for that, or you need to start getting more aggressive.
What I'd like to see Warwick do now is probably swing over, pick up that blue buff, and then go for Caitlyn. Morgana's going to be getting back into lane. She's going to be full up on mana. Has boots now. Going to be able to pursue. Just got to be careful of those traps. Doesn't have a trap in the bush up, and just as I say that, there goes the trap. Warwick's got to be careful going in there. He's going to find Gangplank. Looks like Gangplank's going to choose to just run away so Warwick can take the blue. Going to double back around.
Though, and Caitlyn. They need to get some kind of slow. There's the net. Ooh. Nice shot by Caitlyn.
Good hook the net. Miss Fortune going to come in here. Excellent opportunity for the ult there. Had to break it off a little bit early.
Nice snare by LeBlanc, and that will likely, that will secure the net kill on Warwick. Really good job. Excellent net shot by Caitlyn with a really good follow-up snare by LeBlanc there to get the net kill.
Also getting 4 people involved on that too. Gangplank joining in with his ult there. Getting everyone some assists, a little bit more gold, helps the team out.
Yep, and we will see the purple team just completely forego bot lane. I'm not sure what they're thinking at this point, because I don't think you're going to get really all that aggressive against a Garen on turret.
No, spin to win tends to make turret diving a terrible idea.
Especially with the LeBlanc there.
It's like everybody coming mid here. Morgana coming in mid now. Might see a team fight. I'd like to. We have Gangplank warding the river there, just keeping an eye out. Fizz also on the other side. He throws his shark in there and manages to nab 4 of them with that. That could be crazy. Miss Fortune using her Make It Rain now. I'd say now would be the time to go while she's got those abilities on cooldown.
Yeah, I could see Purple Team winning this because almost all of their ultimates are up except for Miss Fortune's, whereas Garen and Gangplank have already blown theirs and they'll be on cooldown for a significant amount of time. So if there is a good fight, which it looks like they're actually going to separate, but right now Purple Team would have the advantage if there was a team fight there.
Yeah, knowing that everyone's just kind of hanging around, Warwick's going to go and kill some creep here in top, enjoy this farm while he can. Gonna not attack the ones that are on low HP because that's for scrubs. Still got 3 people, 3 on 2 in the mid. Nothing really happening though. Miss Fortune with some good harass. Caitlyn looks like she's gonna head back to bot lane there to support Fizz. They need to go and push that turret because they have vision on 4 of the 5 members of that purple team right now.
Yep, now would be a great time to split push bottom. I completely agree with you. And we'll see this Garen slowly snake up towards top lane. But I have the feeling that Warwick already has the game sense, and yeah, he's falling back, knowing, okay, Garen's leaving. I should probably stop pushing the lane.
Yeah, Morgana and Alistair coming bot here.
This could be trouble.
For Fizz and Caitlyn there. You just got to keep them engaged. There is no ward coverage, but the snap trap going down for Caitlyn. She's got to get out of there.
Oh, she just popped her net on Yi, though. That's going to be huge trouble for her. If they can get a good knock-up, Caitlyn's toast.
Excellent knock-up there. Miss Fortune essentially missing that ult. I would have waited more to see the flashes get burned. Looks like they're going to opt for Caitlyn. Oh.
Speaking of ults, Morgana actually didn't pop hers during that lower level engagement. Not lower level, lower lane, rather. Now,
holding that merry-go-round in place, and there goes the ultimate from her. Not sure I agree with that.
Yeah, that's...
Alistair getting shot. Ooh, good.
Nice black shield.
Absolutely. Excellent spell shield there from Morgana, rendering that shark useless. Miss Fortune repositioning here, going to make it rain on top of that, but they're going to lose Alistair in the process.
Yep.
Maybe be able to take out Fizz, but it looks like he's just going to get out of there all right.
This LeBlanc has done a really good job of using her snares effectively to secure kills for her team.
Yep, she has her Magi's now. She is at only 1 stack for the moment, but if she catches someone off guard or is able to land that chain through the wall, that's lights out.
Yep. And now with Alistair down, I feel it's a good time to try and at least poke it into this mid turret. Miss Fortune's ult is obviously on cooldown, so go for it. Do as much damage to this tower as you can.
They have a good creep wave there. They just need to put some poke on it. Caitlyn's going to do a good job with that, putting and applying damage to it. Not a whole lot of damage.
Wow, Blanc. God, man, that's just so much mobility.
Yeah, her able to just burst forward like that.
And then instantly come back. That's ridiculous.
Yi with a good alpha strike there. Got to be careful though. He's going to get caught here. Garen with the ult going to take out Yi. And going to spin some more on Warwick there, but his lifesteal barely keeping him out of that alive. Morgana returning to top lane. Gangplank going back. Both teams sitting on a sizable chunk of gold. That blue team sitting on 3 of their members, almost 1,500 gold. Some of them over, some just a little bit under. Going to pick up some new items here. Gangplank looks like he's going to pick up Vamp Scepter, another dagger, so I'll probably see him go Phantom Dancer. That to me means that he's going to be going Crit Plank. Watching those parlays just chunk that purple team.
Yeah, and I could certainly see that happen with his Ionian Boots to give him that more cooldown on that Q of his. So Crit Plank it's not a bad option. I haven't seen it in a long time. I've been seeing a lot of tank planks lately, just doing solo Q. Don't know about you.
Yep. Personally, I like playing Tank Plank. He's just a good all-around utility for your team. You know, he's got the oranges. You know, he can kind of keep an eye on things and can run in, not really fearing anything because he can get back out still. Able to break stuns and all that with his oranges. I like Tank Plank. That's what I've been playing a lot lately on solo queue.
Yep. And we will see that purple ward go down for the blue team. So they are really trying to control Dragon. Not opting to go for it just because the blocking gameplay at this point can't really do it. They don't have enough effective tank or lifesteal to do so.
They got 2 wards right there, right next to each other.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering that at first. I was like, hey, you know what? I mean, whatever. Wards win games, so at least they're doing... I mean, at least they
keep
have
an eye on that
wards.
dragon.
Exactly.
Other than that, we're looking... Creep score is slightly favoring for the purple team right now. Morgana doing an excellent job farm. She's been left up in that top lane for the most part to farm.
For a pretty large duration of the game, other than some ganks here and there. But yeah, she's done a really good job.
Yeah, pulling back ahead of Garen and Caitlyn. Doesn't have a whole lot of items. Warwick also, yeah, he's been pretty much ignoring the team fights. Probably why we've seen them fall in blue team's favor. Warwick gonna ping. Dragon here wants to do it, but we'll see if
yeah, Morgana was like, hey, I mean, I know you want to do Dragon, but I think Morgana knows it's warded, or at least just has a feeling like, okay, it's really not a good option for you to go in there solo, especially with this Fizz walking around. Not that Fizz can necessarily kill Warwick, but by the time he tried to start a Dragon, it might be engaged into a team fight that they wouldn't want.
Precisely. Morgana's the only one on that team right now that hasn't died.
Yeah, and that's not too surprising. I mean, she's done a really good job of keeping good positioning in the lane. The only thing I wasn't really impressed with was her ult, where she didn't fire it when I wanted her to, and when she finally did, she unfortunately walked on top of Caitlyn Trap. Speaking of Caitlyn Trap, oh, nice black shield.
Garen gonna spin in there. Tons of damage going down. No, is it gonna be enough? One more auto attack. Oh, and LeBlanc gonna pick up that kill there easy. Gangplank gonna come in, just needs a parlay, and that Caitlyn ult will finish her off.
Yep.
Good play. LeBlanc taking that tower, gotta get out of there.
She will get out, and that's exactly what we were just talking about. So it was a really good job by the blue team there, using that trap perfectly. And while Morgana did give Master Yi a really good black shield to get him out of Garen's range and prevent him from being silenced so he could pop his ult to run away, LeBlanc's mobility is just ridiculous.
Meanwhile, purple team picking up Dragon there in bot lane. While they did lose, what did they go? They went 2-4-0. They did still pick up Dragon. Global gold for the team. Not sure it balances out though.
Yeah, I mean, picking up Dragon is certainly not a bad option at this point, especially when you have Warwick who can do it really quickly. But when you lose a Morgana, a turret, and a Yi, yeah, it's rough.
Yeah. Other than that, we'll take a look around again. LeBlanc up now to 3 kills, has 5 stacks on that Magi's, so she's starting to build that AP. It's gonna really start to ruin her day. Purple Ward, they're gonna pick up that one, just sitting there.
Speaking of ruining their day, Alistair just ran into 3-on-1. He will flash over the cliff, though. That's not bad.
Miss Fortune's just kind of standing there for a moment.
I think she's disconnected.
It is possible. Yep. See, not a whole lot of gold being gained from that.
That is highly unfortunate for the purple team. That
we might see that disconnect here in a few seconds.
I'm
Otherwise,
sure we will, like within a minute or so, just because she was standing there for so long. I mean, she was there before the Alistair engage even happened.
Some sort of timeout there.
Yeah, which is unfortunate, but hopefully she'll come back soon. She actually wasn't doing a very bad job when it came to creep score, but obviously she's 0-2.
Yeah. Despite the lead right now, the gold disparity is not that far apart. 1 or 2 kills or being able to end that LeBlanc or Garen's killing spree, definitely going to help.
Actually, Master Yi killed Gangplank somewhere. I'm sorry, I totally missed that.
Would have been in bot lane there. The second death for Gangplank. Looks like he's going to get that Phantom Dancer, has the materials for it. Yi now 3-3-0, keeping it even. Looks like he's got 2 Zeals there. Not a bad choice. Gives them mobility in the crit. We'll see him roll into some damage items here soon, I hope, because that's the only way that's going to benefit him, really.
Yep, and we did see that Gangplank pick up a Phantom Dancer, so I don't actually play Gangplank very much, so I wouldn't know. Is that how you normally build for Crit Plank, or do you go with a different build?
For Crit Plank, you want to build a Phantom Dancer because it gives you the extra mobility and attack speed to be able to get your Grog Soaked Blade stacked up, and additionally, that 30% crit chance on that? Excellent. He needs to pick up an Avarice Blade and turn that into a Yumu's. That's the only other thing that I do. I typically build Avarice Blade first and then a Brutalizer.
Just to get the gold for 5, yeah.
Yeah, I don't go to Phantom Dancer until a little bit later in the game, but since they are pressing their advantage right now, it's not bad picking up your big ticket item first. So I would call the Phantom the big ticket item there because the Avarice Blade's very cheap at only about 800 gold. When you're picking up your Brawler's Gloves for 400, and then I think it's only 350 on top of that. So around 800 gives you gold per 5. It's also crazy crit. Or we're gonna pick up blue there. We'll see what else is going on here.
I probably would have given that to Morgana personally. She was right there. I think Morgana with the blue buff is a lot more deadly than a Warwick with the blue buff at this point.
Well, his ult is up right now. He is ready to give someone a really nice hug.
A big hug.
Need to get in there on Caitlyn or someone. Garen, not sure what he's doing. Gangplank, who's, as far as I'm concerned right now, is the biggest threat besides LeBlanc on that blue team, is up in the other lane. And while they have 5 there at mid, they need to do something or engage. Fizz gonna take a look around here.
We've seen a lot of like quasi-engages where both teams like walk up to each other and go like, hey, how's it going? Not bad, how are you? Oh, okay. And then they just walk away. No actual team fights as of yet.
No. Not sure quite why that is. Both teams maybe just waiting to wait it out, see who can get some good farm going, see how the items come out, and then just see how the team synergy will decide the fights.
Yeah,
But the longer they let this go, if that blue team keeps whittling them away, by the time blue team gets to the end, purple team's not going to be ready for it.
Yeah, and we can also see that in item disparity where we see Morgana kind of forced to go with double Doran's Ring spec rather than maybe like rushing a Rod of Ages or something of that sort. And this is mostly just from, I mean, she just hasn't really gotten any assists or kills, so her gold is, while her creep score is good, her gold count from kills and such is pretty low.
Yeah, I mean, we still see, though, between the two, both teams pretty equal on creep score. Only 1,400 gold difference between the two. If Purple's able to pick up a dragon here at some time, we have Alistair and Yi in bot lane, 5v2, that needs to not happen.
Yeah, especially with LeBlanc's now 5 stacks of Magi's. That's not bad. So LeBlanc is currently 3-0, so one thing that could become a factor, though, is just in the late game versus, you know, champions like Alistair, how effective will this LeBlanc be? Because obviously LeBlanc is a very early game-centric hero.
Yeah, she tends to fall off. Whereas Morgana tends to scale as she gets more of that spell vamp and her combo just starts to do ridiculous amounts of damage. And on top of that, lower MR.
Oh, Misfortune's gonna die to turret here. Oh wow, she will actually get away with about 50 HP. That was really close.
Barely escaping there. New meta. Pro Misfortune's also gonna get out of there before Garen gets up. Garen gonna come in here too.
Still haven't seen an actual
I think
team
Warwick's
fight.
going to have time to take out that turret. If he turns
Yeah,
and
he
hugs
will.
Garen, that's bad news bears. It's like the rest of that blue team's coming up here. Fizz fail jump to try and title Trickster over that wall. Looks like they are going to break up the engage there. It is absolutely driving me insane.
I mean, it's perfectly understandable.
This is going to be fear of commitment part 2. But.
Yeah, I mean, I understand because another team wants to jump into a fight where they're going to be, you know, like instantly ganked, and that's what both teams are trying to do, like with Morgana.
Oh, the big pull go down there on Caitlyn, the knockout coming in from Alistair. LeBlanc burst, trying to burst the tower, but that's not really doing a whole lot. That purple team not getting in there to help. What are they doing?
Oh man, they just left him to die, and that's exactly what the blue team needed. Purple team tried to make something happen with that Caitlyn. He got silenced twice, despite that black shield.
Barely missing the fish there from Fizz. Looks like instead of a shark, he's got an orca. This must be like
that actually changes with the skin. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's just like Swain's bird.
Yep, exactly like that actually. Nice all by Misfortune. She will ward off the blue team from poking that secondary tower.
Yep, but now what they need to do is swing over to another lane or clear out the jungle and just ruin their day.
Yeah, really good
needs to take Dragon. Right they know that they're all up there just trying to mess around with Fizz. They're keeping their attention there also with LeBlanc. Gangplank and Garen going to go for that Dragon. We'll take a look at Gangplank's crits there. We see 307, 510, wow. So, we'll also see him in the near future. He needs to pick up an Infinity Edge and start building his damage. Next time he goes back, I wouldn't be surprised to see a BF Sword or something along those lines. Maybe build the Vamp Scepter into something. Maybe go for Bloodthirster, not sure.
He's kind of got some room to work just how he wants to with this team, because it seems to me, at least with Alistair and Morgana, they're very tanky champions.
Yes.
So I doubt he'll be able to effectively burst them down, but then you look at champions like Misfortune, and a crit plank could easily take her out in just a couple shots.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Though right now, Misfortune being very smart has Merc Treads. Gonna have some escapability. Also with that Chalice of Harmony, some magic resist. So she's building with some defense in mind, and you can see that reflected in some of her survivability. Master Yi gonna kind of scope around. He does have a BF sword now himself, so his poke will actually do some damage. Jungle invade here. Purple team doing a good job, though, keeping wards everywhere. They're gonna know that blue team, both Fizz and Garen, are going up that way. If they can muster the forces to go over there.
Now would be a really good time. Oh, they're just gonna let him. Oh, they're just gonna slink right out of their jungle. That would have been the perfect time to go in with Alistair and Morgana.
Alistair gonna go in here. Needs to get that knockup. Morgana needs to throw a prison in. She will land it on Fizz. Needs to drop that pool in there.
After all. Oh no, she's just completely torn apart by this LeBlanc.
Good ult there for Misfortune, though, making it rain, firing all the damage. Not gonna be able to do a whole lot. Fizz with a good fish there.
There's the ult, but she will go down to the crit plank. Meanwhile, Master Yi ran around. There was tons of deaths right there. I kind of had to pan the camera around. The problem with that fight was Alistair's going in and trying to initiate on a team that has 2 silences.
Master Yi gonna try and pick up this LeBlanc here, and he does, ending that killing spree, and even more importantly, dropping those stacks. Highlandering away. I think he'll get away from Garen here, no problem.
Now it's just a question of will Crit Plank cut him off when he gets up the river. Nice flash. Crit Plank's actually going the wrong way.
Oh,
I think he's toast.
Crossfire here. Misfortune coming in for a slow. Damage going in. Garen's still going to be able to pick it up.
That Crit Plank.
Barely missing that Gangplank. Gonna eat some oranges. Gonna make everything K.
Yeah, I mean, I admire Misfortune coming in there to try and assist Master Yi, but at this point, you gotta know, okay, there are currently 3 to 4 blue champions going after Yi. He's a really speedy champion. If he can't get away, there's no way I can, so it's not worth going in for the assist.
Well, I mean, Misfortune can move pretty damn fast if she's not hit at all because of her passive. What she needed to do, though, was just make it rain there on the ramp and then hope that curtain of falling pellets would
with that
hold
slow get Master Yi away. Exactly, and I think that would have been a much smarter play.
Gangplank building a cloth armor now. I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe he'll build a Wriggles. The cloth armor and Vamp Scepter there, it's possible.
I could certainly see it. That would make it much easier for the blue team to down Baron in the later game, and obviously just Dragon in general, because he's already got very high crits.
Yep, and there we do see the Wriggles.
There you go.
I am on the ball with items today.
You are well aware of how to play Crit Plank, my friend.
Other things going on. Garen's got a Sunfire cape now, so when he spins to win, it's on fire. What else is going on in the world of items? I do believe it is time for an item breakdown.
All right, I've been waiting for this for a while, so let's do an item breakdown right at
Ooh,
almost the 30-minute
ladies
mark.
and gentlemen, for the blue team, LeBlanc has her Magi Soul Stealer, needlessly large rod, and a blasting wand, going to be building as much AP as possible. Garen has a Doran's Blade, Boots of Swiftness, Cloth Armor, Sunfire Cape, Chain Vest, and Wards because Wards win games. Caitlyn, meanwhile, with a Phantom, a Boyfriend Sword, a Phage, Boots of Swiftness, and a Vampiric Scepter. Fizz has a Doran's Ring, Sorcerer's Shoes, Lichbane, very powerful in Fizz, good to see that early in the game. He's got 134, almost 135 creeps, the other is 135. Creep score has another Amplifying Tome. Gangplank, Crit Plank building Phantom Dancer, Lucidity Boots, Wriggles Lantern, BF Sword, and a Crystal something or other, Ruby Crystal. For the purple team, we have Morgana with 2 Dorans, Rabbidibble's Darvling Cap, Sorcerer's Shoes, Alistair with a Sunfire, Philostone, and Ninja Tabby. Not sure I agree with the Ninja Tabby. There's 3 ADs on
Probably would
that
have gone for
purple
Merc
team.
Treads because you have 2 silences you're up against.
Yeah, really. What else is going on here? Yi kind of dunk build, 2 Zeals, Zerkish Greaves, a big freaking sword. Also has a Vamp Scepter. Warwick has his Claws, Berserker's Greaves, the Spirit Visage, which is really, really good on Warwick. We see a lot of people. I saw quite a few. Everybody that played Warwick today in IPL built one of those Spirit Visages.
Yeah, and I think that's a really underrated item on Warwick. Some people tend to forego that, and it's actually really great for him, giving him that additional heal off of his lifesteal.
Yeah, it's relatively cheap too. That's important to remember.
I believe it's only, what, 1,350?
Well, it sells for 1085, so
sweet. Got a kill.
I am the Harbinger of Death. Warwick also with Wits End, Recurve Bow. Probably going to see him build Madrid's Razor since he hasn't done anything else with, or Madrid's Blood Razor since he hasn't done anything else with his Madrid's Razors. Misfortune, Chalice of Harmony, Merc Treads, Phage. Executioner's Calling. Good choice. But, well, it's sort of a good choice. That would only really do anything against Gangplank. But, because its active reduces healing.
Yeah, I mean, part of me is like, okay, if you're trying to counter Gangplank, that's not necessarily a bad idea. But at the same time, since you're the range carry for the team, I feel like you should probably be investing in better damage or, you know, create some form of, you know, tower destroying items over the Executioner's Calling.
Some sort of tower destroying item, indeed.
Yeah, I know. Very specific on my part. Really
that
nice.
Was incredibly
though. Or not getting all, sorry.
Yeah, she's been doing a really good job. Ooh, Master Yi's gonna fall down to the might of the blue team. Morgana not gonna get out of there either. Ult going in on Misfortune, not gonna be enough because Caitlyn doesn't have a whole lot of beef behind her attacks yet. All sort of good headbutt. Not quite sure why he smashed the ground there, but
he was just really, really mad.
Have you ever been just like so mad that you punched the ground and like it disintegrated and flew up?
Not really, because my ground's tile and I'd probably break my hand.
I suppose.
Yeah.
And you're also not a giant bull, are you?
No, no. I wish I was.
No,
It'd be pretty cool.
You're just a TCOM student.
Yeah, but I am. I enjoy what I am. Here we go, though, with that Wriggles Lantern and these huge-ass crits. Blue team's able to really quickly pick up that dragon kill.
Yep. And we're starting to see the gold difference pull ahead now. More than 6,000 gold now between the two, up by 12 kills. We're 34 minutes into this game. The only real salvation that I can see for that purple team is a very poor engage from the blue, where Warwick is able to get in and suppress someone like Caitlyn or LeBlanc.
Or just a really good ult by Morgana. I think the one they need to stop relying on, though, is this idea of Alistair charging in, because it's not working against those 2 silences. He's getting zoned out really quickly. He has more defense about it at this point, so he's not going to die immediately, but he's not going to be able to take someone out.
I'll say it's a lack of communication from their team. It honestly is. Looks like Blue might be gearing to do Baron, or maybe bait Baron, or
bait
force
Baron
a fight.
Would be a good idea at this point because they have that gold advantage. I can certainly see Baron bait working in their favor.
Yep. Good creep wave though going into top lane. Looks like we might get set up for an engagement here. Both teams just showing their hand, showing who's present for these fights. Morgana with the prison in there from the side, gonna miss that.
There's that slow, and easily go down.
Yep, you have to protect those carries, guys. Warwick has the most farm out of any of you with almost 200. You need to give him the opportunity to do the damage. That's what needs to be done, but we'll see the blue team still here at full health going in onto this tower wrap.
Yeah.
Alistair bidding in Oracles. I don't agree with that.
He's had the Oracles for a while, I think, but the main issue is, like you said, the purple team just isn't protecting their carries. Like, both Master Yi and Warwick went in with no help from Alistair or Morgana, and it's hurting them.
Good save there on Misfortune. She's got to get out of there, though. Alistair barely saving her from Caitlyn's ult. That would have been bad. So now it's 3v1 because Misfortune's back in the pool and Morgana's left there to just try and defend that mid turret. Blue team, though, going to get creep pushed in that top.
Yep, she's going to get that top wave, which is smart. I agree with that.
She distortions into that, you'll just see all the creep die. Yep.
Like that.
Boom. Tons of damage.
Tons of damage, which is really smart because, like we said earlier, LeBlanc is most certainly one of those champs that kind of fizzes out in the late game. That's mostly just because champions start to get magic resist, and she just can't burst people down.
Fizzes out.
Ah, not bad. I didn't even realize I did that. Thank you.
Buzzing.
But yeah, I mean, it's a smart play for her to try and continue to get as much creep score as possible. She's actually really low, generally speaking, in comparison to everyone else. Not to hate on her at all, because she's done a great job this game being 3-1-7, but her CS is falling behind. Still, she has 9 stacks of Magi's.
Yep, so that's giving her an additional, excuse me, 72 AP. That's a good chunk, and she also rushed her Rabadon. It's gonna pick up some more wards, has a Vision Ward and a Sight Ward there. Gonna try and counter ward as best she can, though purple team doesn't have a whole lot out right now. Caitlyn's been doing a good job spreading her traps around too, so blue team has excellent map awareness. I'll give them that.
Their ward coverage has been pretty stellar throughout this entire game.
Yep, Fizz gonna pick up blue here in the middle. Good choice for him. Get that cooldown reduced on his title Trickster.
I feel like a Baron gank would be not gank, sorry, bait would be really smart by now.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Purple ward going into Baron itself. Wards just all around Baron, knowing what's going on. Excellent coverage. They need to take it now. They know that the purple team's all far back. Gangplank just kind of derping around the jungle, and everyone else on that blue team can tend to do the same. Not quite sure what else is going on. Looks like maybe
Dragon
setting
went
a
down
trap
a while
on blue.
ago, so I'm not sure what everyone's kind of.
Oh, they're gonna get split, and this Morgana could get caught out of place.
Or Fizz for that matter. But neither team choosing to capitalize on that. Interesting.
Jumping through there, the Ignite going down on Morgana and a Flash. Shark gonna land on Morg.
I'm trying to watch both. Morgana's alive. Okay, back to the main fight though.
Big team fight going in here. Gangplank ult. Misfortune with an excellent placement on her ulti there. Not gonna be able to burn through that team fast enough. They just couldn't decide who they wanted to kill. Oh, Yi does pick up Gangplank. He's got to jump back on Fizz.
Oh, Alpha Strike, Alpha Strike. Oh no.
Oh, just runs right into that.
Don't run into a LeBlanc and Garen. That is a bad choice. If he had tried to Alpha Strike onto that LeBlanc, he probably would have died all the same, but...
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean...
Yeah, he had 2 choices. He could have tried to Alpha Strike. Not sure how long was left on that cooldown, and obviously hindsight...
Or just pull out, because his ult was already going. He was perfectly fine away.
Would have been able to just escape. Morgana gonna keep poking, drop the pool, let those creep die slowly in a bubble bath of death.
I don't know.
That's what I will call that now. The bubble bath of death.
How do you feel about the idea of this game drawing out? Because I can't say it's really necessarily going to go in the blue team's favor because it's giving the purple team the time they need to continue farming. Like, they have a pretty damn good creep score at this point.
If we take a look at the champions themselves, as far as who scales well moving into the late game, I still think the blue team will keep that advantage. Gangplank, once he gets huge, you're not going to stop that. He does have a giant spell. We'll probably see him build Fat Mogs here. Fat Mogs combination, as has become standard, really. He's going to be able to tank towers, going to be able to knock them over, too, because he's pumping out so much damage. Fizz also scales well with his AP, getting cooldown reduction, too. He's going to be able to flip around and just kind of ruin people's day. Caitlyn gonna be able to do tons of damage too. She has a Bloodthirster now, able to move around quick with the swiftness and a Phantom Dancer. Looks like she's probably gonna go for Madrid's Blood Razor too, if not a Wriggles.
And we did see, I actually missed that, sorry folks, Crypt easily killed Master Yi, and that's not really all that surprising just given the item disparity and the huge burst damage that he has at this point.
Yep. LeBlanc is the only one on that blue team that's really gonna fall off. Morgana will scale. Master Yi is...
He would scale, but he keeps on running into fights without his tanks, and it's the same thing with Warwick, and that's why those two champions aren't that effective in this game.
Warwick going for a hug on the tower, and Miss Fortune throwing a huge ult in there. Not going to be able to do much out of it if Fizz can get in, and Fizz is going to take her right by those Nexus turrets. Going to take a ton of damage in the process. Morgana also going to fall.
Man, Fizz is doing tons of damage, you're right. He's doing a great job with that
Excellent
ability
job.
power.
Well, on top of having all that AP, he's doing a crazy load of damage with his Shark and his Urchin Strike, but then when he gets on top of them then with that Lich Bane, he's able to focus that AP through a physical attack too.
Yep.
So, very good choice for him early. Also has a Rylai's for health and slow. Fizz is doing an excellent job building his items. Actually, most of the players are doing a good job with their items. Morgana is a little bit gimped. She's gonna build a Rod of Ages at 40 minutes in.
Yeah,
I don't agree with that.
I completely
she needs to build
disagree with that.
She could build a Banshee's Veil.
Yep.
She can't. She doesn't have it built yet, so she still could go Banshees. She's not on a whole lot of gold right now, but having to go Doran's early kind of gimps you then later on.
Despite her winning the lane, so, I mean, I would have personally gone for the Rod of Ages because we're so low top. I mean, her creep score wasn't the best, but it was pretty good for a solo top versus 2. So I would have gone for Rod of Ages.
Yeah. Alistar gonna make a Thornmail, good choice for all that AD. He needs to pick up a Warmogs, he's just really squishy
he
right
just
now.
doesn't have the gold.
I say squishy with Alistar at almost 3,000 health, but in comparison, his LeBlanc has 2,300 and Warwick has 2,700. So no one really super tanky on that team. I've seen Fatmog's Yi before, and that's worked out well too.
I think the primary issue is just, it's not necessarily the team comp, but the way that fights are being initiated is that the purple team is just kind of running in headfirst to a team that has either really great burst or is using their silences.
Damage going in on Warwick here. We're going to try and hug Fizz, and Fizz going to miss that Shark, but LeBlanc going to get here and do the snare. Wow, LeBlanc going up to 19 stacks of Magias. 152 ability power. When you throw that back...
603.
Yep.
What?
152 from that Soul Engorgement alone. She's going to build a Zhonya's here, which is going to make it even harder for her to lose those stacks. She's 7-1 and 9. Gangplank with the most deaths on that team, but I'll still call that excusable.
Yeah, I mean, she's done a great job. And there's that Zhonya's, like you said, so she will now have 629 magic resistance. I mean, she's having a really good game. Or not, I'm sorry, ability power, my apologies. But this is the issue. It's just that I feel really bad for this Master Yi and this Warwick because they can't do anything in these fights. They're completely zoned out because they have no defensive items or they don't have enough burst to actually kill their targets when they go for a target, and then they just die, and suddenly it's a 5v3.
Precisely. They're not able to bring their damage to bear. That's plain and simple what it is. Master Yi does have 7 kills. He's got the majority of the kills for that team, but he's been dying in the process because he gets
almost every single time.
His Alpha Strike does grant him some, I don't want to say invulnerability because you can still hit him with AoEs while he's still running through there, but that just lack of time where he's able to be clicked upon to kill is what's getting him the time or buying him the time to get those kills.
It's just mostly because they have no contain on the blue team. They have absolutely no control.
That was good bait there from Garen, trying to draw that purple team into the woods there for a fight while allowing...
Look at this crippling demolish that tower. Good lord.
Yeah, he's got 376 AD right. Good damage going in, good ult from Gangplank. Gonna pick up 2. We'll see Miss Fortune pop her ult. She's been excellent with those ults. It's just unfortunate for Miss Fortune.
I got a comment though. I mean, did you see the amount of magic damage?
Oh, Master Yi running in here. He's got to get one more.
Oh, nice.
He does. Headbutt. Oh.
He's got to run. Run, Yi.
He's got to run.
Nope, he will die.
That title trickster hitbox. I'm not sure what was going on there.
I think it was also red buff in combination with that.
That too.
But I mean, just at the very beginning of that fight, Alistar has no magic resistance items, and we see now he finally buys Lisa's Miracle because he should have gotten Merc Codes in the beginning. But putting that aside, he's getting 2-shot by this LeBlanc. It's nuts.
Yeah, LeBlanc's just bringing too much damage to bear right now. She's waiting for that Morgana to come back in. If she was opportunistic, I'd say let Garen tank that tower, get in there, and nuke that Morgana, because she's really the only hard counter right now.
Yep.
For that blue team. Her
the only
snare
thing she wants
her
to make
pull.
sure she doesn't do is die, because she does now have 20 stacks, so she has 640 ability power, which is crazy in and of itself, but with that additional cooldown reduction from having 20 stacks.
Yep, Garen gonna spin off there and give them time. Take out that tower. Gonna take out this inhib here, no problem. It's 2 inhibs down. Still 1 tower standing in the way in the bot lane. But at this point, 8 towers down.
Purple team actually able to ward off the blue team, though, from taking that second inhibitor.
Yep, I'm not.
I feel like they're being baited, though.
Yeah.
If they turn and take, they could easily kill just Alistar, in my opinion.
Well, both of those folks there. Alistar is gonna do his knock up here. Fizz is gonna flip around. Warwick's gotta hug him right now. They're used to the hug. Gangplank ult coming in. LeBlanc with another huge snare. Bursting in, gonna take him out. LeBlanc now gonna have that full 20 stacks Magi's for 160 bonus ability power.
Yep.
That is just ridiculous. On top of that, brings her to 640 ability power total, thanks to her Rabadon's effect. She's still gotta build some Rylai's.
She only has 4 items at this point.
Yeah,
I mean,
is just crazy.
she could easily scale. Oh wow, really nice snare by Morgana there.
Yeah, I did miss that. Good ult for Misfortune. Not
Again.
Yeah.
Sadly, not enough to take out that or prevent that inhibitor from being taken out. But this
That's
all
she's
falls
not,
down to
she
magic
does a ton
resistance.
of damage right now. Yeah, if the purple team had some MR, you see Morgana went for that.
Yeah, he just got 2-shot. Like, that's a perfect example. They just don't have any magic resistance to combat this LeBlanc, which is what you have to do versus a LeBlanc. Otherwise, she just scales stupidly. The entire idea is in the late game, if you build magic resistance, she really falls off fast. But since they can't kill her,
wow,
she has 20
790
stacks.
crit for that 865.
865, yeah. Blue team's pretty much got this in the bag with a 14,000 gold advantage.
That's just crazy. Their Baron buff did just run out, but they've got Master Yi down from that team. They either need to do something now or take out these bottom turrets. Ooh, good chains there from LeBlanc. Got a burst in there. That Alistar hits the black shield. Oh, Misfortune taking out Gangplank. Good turn there. Warwick's got to give somebody a hug.
He just did on that Gangplank, which is why Misfortune was able to actually take him out.
Good shark going in there from Fizz. Gonna flip around, try and turn, but it's gonna be 1v3, and Fizz could get his day ruined with this. Garen gonna turn back around in here. Not sure what he's doing. Gonna go down on that purple team. That takes 3 down, and they're gonna be down for a long amount of time.
That was not smart at all.
I'm not sure I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, they have 2 inhibitors down, so the blue team can't really push, but still, you basically just suicided for no apparent reason. I think they wanted to end the game there, but they didn't have Caitlyn or, pardon me, LeBlanc with them, so they were effectively 3v5ing, and then they all just kind of let themselves die.
Yep.
It's just kind of prolonging the game more than it needs to be at this point, and giving Purple Team that chance to come back.
Precisely. Caitlyn is going to be able to hold that mid lane 1v4, I'll say, because here comes LeBlanc. Yeah, they're going to be able to burn anyone down. Caitlyn has her Mad It's going to be able to shred through the tanks, really. I would still stay in there and poke a little bit. Looks like they will take that tower down.
They
They're
have
press that advantage. They got another 20 seconds yet to put in some.
I mean, look at Master Yi's build. He can instantly destroy any tower.
Yeah, that's what he needs to do. He needs to run around and split push. He needs to split push all of the things. If they can take those towers out, that will even up this game because they don't have Baron buff. While the
Dragon is up and Warwick's going to take this. He can do it easily.
Oh yeah, level 18. Just gonna shred it and fill up his health bar in the process.
Yeah, I mean, and this is exactly, I mean, there's Master Yi also taking the blue buff. This is just giving the purple team a chance that they really shouldn't have had the blue team been smart and say like, okay, you know what, we got 2 inhibitors, we're all kind of low, let's back out real quick, and then continue the push. But they went with the kamikaze strategy that's really hurting them at this point.
Yeah. It's like Morgana gonna get the blue buff here.
Yeah, and Warwick's actually forced off that dragon. Yeah.
I didn't think he was forced off, but I think he just used it to fill up his health bar to ensure that he could survive if some kind of counter gank came in. Blue team has that Baron warded still.
They're taking dragon and instantly going for Baron, which I totally agree with because you have map control.
They know that the purple team's back in their base. They know they're back to buy. We see Warwick picking up a null mantle there. Morgana building some more AP. She's gonna build a Zanya. She has that chain vest and large rod.
I still don't agree with that Rod of Aegis at all.
No, that was as far as I'm concerned, that was a waste.
Yeah.
Blue team gotta pick up Baron here. We're almost 50 minutes into this game now. This just needs to end.
This should be the killing stroke with that Baron buff. We should now see the blue team pushing.
Yep. Warwick's gonna get caught here. He's got to be very, very careful.
Stay in your base, man. You don't even have an inhibitor to protect in the mid lane. Oh, no. Oh, he's
Bullet's
totally
gonna
out of
get caught
position.
out. Shark going in, not going to touch anything with it. Chum the waters. Alistair going to get burned a little bit.
Forced to burn splash there.
Knocking that damage off of him.
I mean, this is like the Alamo, the last stand at this point for the purple team. They have to prevent that Baron buff from taking them out of the game.
It is still 5v5, and they got to be careful not to fight on those towers. Gangplank's very, very squishy. That's important to note. Well, I don't agree with his Thornmail choice. I really don't. Sure, he has a ton of armor, and that 30 damage going back in is gonna hurt. But I would say what they need to do now is force the fight on this bottom turret, which Garen will do because he's so tanky. Has his Warmonks, has the Thornmail, has the Sunfire.
There goes Warwick.
Yep, Caitlyn's gonna fall down too.
There goes Crit Flank. Master Yi is just tearing a strip in this team right now.
Yep. Sonya's there. Ooh, good kill from LeBlanc. Gonna get out of there just okay. We'll see. 11-1 and 11. Holy cow.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to back off. They traded three for 2.
I mean, had that LeBlanc gone down, that would have been huge for the purple team just because she would lose that 20 stacks, and that's the kind of break that they're looking for at this point. They don't have inhibitors, but they were able to fend off the blue team. And they didn't even lose their bottom tower, actually. So, all in all, it wasn't a bad trade. They got 3 for 2, and they saved their turrets. But they need to continue kind of being smart when it comes to engagements. Let the blue team come to them, and then fight them on towers.
Yep. Blue team now just probably going to buy their time. That Garen LeBlanc combo is going to be good with the silence and the snare. But I don't think we're going to see purple team leave the relative security of their base for the time being. They're down 2 players. They will come up around the same time, though, so probably just going to go and farm around.
I mean, at this point, there's really even no real reason to leave, because you've got to know, okay, they took Baron, they probably took Dragon. Other than, like, a red buff, there's no reason for us to leave our base at this point.
Agreed. Garen's finishing up some items here. He's got a Warden's Mail. Trying to remember what he'll build that into. But he's just so tanky right now. He's got almost 4,000.
He might go for, what's that shield called? Comes off of Heart of Gold as well.
Might it be...
Slows everyone.
It's not Aegis, Randuin's.
That's it, Randuin's
That's what it is.
I could see him building that. That makes sense, especially on Master Yi.
Yeah, well, that's kind of useless against Yi.
I'm sorry, yeah, because it was all... I meant to say Warwick, not Master Yi, my apologies.
If he can get there in the middle of the fight, which is what he's been doing all game, really...
It's still not a bad choice, all in all.
Just looks like they're baiting blue buff. Gonna see if anyone's foolish enough to come out and see if they can get their blue.
Without Gangplank, they can't really go and engage, so they kind of have to wait around. But, I mean, purple team...
Well, yes and no.
Dumb.
Gangplank has a lot of damage to bring to bear, but he can also help remotely.
We're 52 minutes into the game, though. You don't want to be doing a 45 situation, because if you die and you get counter-aced, you'll probably lose the game.
Yep. Oh, Fish gonna land on Misfortune there. Garen's gonna spin in there, gonna take out that inhibitor.
Actually spin in onto Misfortune. I feel like he kind of missed his opportunity there to do a lot of damage.
Oh, Alistair headbutting him out of the way of that black snare. Ooh, so much damage.
Snipe! Oh, Master Yi just stood right in front of it at the very last second.
That was incredible. If that would have been threaded through there, I would have felt so bad for Misfortune. She's been one of the promising players for that team. Building to chunk through the armor, has the last whisper. Gangplank still free farming. He's full build right now. 2 Phantom Dancers, that's a ton of crits. 250% damage from that Infinity Edge. Also, he's stacking up that Bloodthirster. When that thing's full, he will just be tearing chunks out of the purple team.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Misfortune getting caught there, but the rest
No was close enough to really, take advantage of that.
They can dive that tower right now. Garen just needs to go in, and it looks like they're going to take it out, so...
Oh, sacrificing a tower just because purple team wasn't close enough, but they get 2 kills here. That's huge for them.
LeBlanc just searching in, throwing intense damage, throwing his chains behind there on Master Yi. If she can burst him down.
There goes Garen and Fizz. This is the break that they needed. But they're leaving their Nexus open again, Gangplank.
They're leaving the Nexus open. That was precisely what I was watching there. It was going to be very interesting. Gangplank melting Misfortune. Holy cow. So much damage. So much
My
damage.
hands actually left my mouse to just go, oh god. And I panned over on accident just because I was that excited that they were leaving their Nexus open. That's the kind of mistakes you can't be making at this point in the game. Exact same thing with Master Yi. That is a needless death and you're out for over a minute. You can't do that at this point in the game.
No. Both teams down now. 2 for the purple, 3 for the blue.
Alistair, let it go, buddy.
Oh, Gangplank gonna get caught in the middle. Gotta eat some oranges. Gotta throw the ult down behind. Eat some oranges and run, Gangplank. Caitlyn, maybe throw down a trap. Lend her buddy a hand. It's not gonna be able to take him out.
There's that trap, but I mean, he will get
2v3.
away because Purple Team knows they can't leave. I mean, obviously Caitlyn and Gangplank are the only ones up to this point, but leaving your base for an extended period of time versus all these super creeps when you're now down a Nexus turret is just a bad idea.
Yep. Other than that, Gangplank, it looks like they're just going to go clear the jungle. Caitlyn's going to grab red, Gangplank's going to grab blue. Wow, so much lifesteal from Gangplank. That crazy damage is equating to crazy lifesteal.
1007 crit.
I'd like to see him swap out that Wriggles for a Warmogs.
Yeah,
that would allow
I totally agree with you.
Because Caitlyn has more health than him right now, and that's just crazy.
I mean, he needs
that
to.
phage.
He doesn't necessarily need to switch to Tank Plank, but if he picked up a Warmogs or just any high defensive item, that'll give him more survivability for these fights where he's kind of getting zoned out by really good Misfortune alts, or, you know, like Warwick ult or anything of that matter. He just needs to have a little bit more sustain for these longer fights.
Yeah, almost everyone on the blue team is now going to reach full build. LeBlanc's very close to getting her Rylai's. Has that Giant's Belt there. That's going to tip me off to what she's getting. Caitlyn with the Giant's Belt and a Phage. Yep, Frozen Mallet. There it is. So, Caitlyn going very tanky. Looks like she's probably going to build another Phantom Dancer. Going to grab the Cloak of Agility there. Just for crit. She's doing a ton of damage.
Master Yi also critting for about 850 per hit. And this is kind of what I was talking about earlier, where they made that critical mistake way back about 10 minutes ago, maybe 15 at this point, I'm not really sure, where they died 3 blue champions for no real reason. It's giving Purple this chance to come back and win.
And as you say that, Master Yi getting nommed.
Oh, dude,
so much damage being brought to bear there. Holy
you just
cow.
Can't do that. You have to stay with your team. It's 56
One does not
minutes.
simply. One does not simply. Alistair diving in there. LeBlanc throwing the poke at him. Not going to do a whole lot.
Depending on how this fight goes, this is going to be either GG or...
They just need to push this turret and push that Nexus, because this will be GG if they can do that. Looks like we might lose a few players here. Garen going to go down. Oh, so close. Warwick standing back up with that Guardian Angel.
Nexus. Yeah, there's that ace. GG.
There's the ace. So, GG. Good to see both. Well-played game. For the blue team, it did kind of snowball, because they were able to press that advantage.
But massive kudos to the Purple Team for really sticking it out and taking advantage of all the small follies or whatever little comebacks they could to really, I mean, they kind of extended the game, but at the same point, it gave them a chance to win.
Yeah. Good game to see. But in the end, it was blue team's participation as a team. 101 assists on that blue team as compared to only 47 for the purple.
Wow.
It's because they fought together. It's because they worked together as a team.
And that's what we noticed time and time again. If the Warwick or the Master Yi would get picked off, or just anyone in general on the purple team.
Yep.
When it comes to these late fights, if you're new at this or you're not sure what you should be doing, it's not necessarily go kill creep, because you most of the time already have the build you need or you're really close to it. You have to just know, okay, this is likely going to be an end game fight. The way we initiate will determine whether we win or not. And unfortunately, the purple team just really didn't take advantage of that.
Yep. So we know this one was a bit of a long match. We're glad you guys stuck with us. We're glad you're still watching League of Legends Coldcasts. If you want to get involved in the show, leave a comment below. Subscribe to Rare's channel. Contact us in game. I am Iaqton. Rare is Sailor Sun. And we will see you guys next time.